The scammer who tried to con my elderly grandfather thought he was an easy target. My 84-year-old Grandpa Joe called me panicked on a Tuesday morning. "Danny, I need $2,000 right away. Someone from the IRS says I owe back taxes and they're sending the police to arrest me." My heart sank. I knew immediately this was a scam, but Grandpa was terrified. "They said if I don't pay today, they'll freeze my bank accounts and I'll go to jail," he whispered into the phone. The man sounded very official. I drove to his house immediately. Grandpa was pacing around his kitchen, clutching a piece of paper with phone numbers and case reference numbers scrawled in his shaky handwriting. He knew my full name, my address, even my social security number, Grandpa said. How would he know all that if it wasn't real? The scammer had called back 3 times, each time making the threats more urgent. Pay now or face arrest within the hour. What the scammer didn't know was that my grandfather wasn't just any elderly man. He was a retired federal prosecutor who'd spent 30 years putting criminals in prison. And I wasn't just any concerned grandson. I'm a cybersecurity specialist for the FBI. "Grandpa, this is definitely a scam. The IRS never calls demanding immediate payment." But he sounded so official, Danny. He had all my information. "That information is probably from a data breach. Let me handle this." When the scammer called back an hour later, I answered Grandpa's phone. "This is Agent Rodriguez from the IRS Criminal Investigation Division," the scammer said in an authoritative voice. "I need to speak with Joseph Martinez about his outstanding tax debt." "This is Joe," I said, disguising my voice to sound older. "Mr. Martinez, you have exactly 1 hour to pay $2,000 in back taxes, or we will issue a warrant for your arrest." "I'm scared," I said, playing along. "How do I pay?" "You need to buy iTunes gift cards and give me the numbers over the phone." iTunes gift cards. Classic scam move. "Okay, I'll go to the store right now, but can you stay on the line? I'm elderly and confused about this process." "Of course, sir. I'll guide you through everything." I put the phone on mute and called my FBI contact. Within minutes, we had a trace running on the call. "I'm at the store now," I told the scammer, "but I'm having trouble finding the gift cards." For 20 minutes, I kept him on the line with fake problems. "The cashier is busy. The card machine isn't working." I dropped my glasses. The whole time, our tech team was tracking his location and recording everything. "Sir, you need to hurry," the scammer said, getting frustrated. "The arrest warrant will be issued soon." "Okay, I found the cards. Let me read you the numbers." Instead of gift card numbers, I read him his real name, real address, and the fact that we'd traced his call to a warehouse in Miami. Dead silence. "This is Special Agent Daniel Martinez, FBI Cybercrime Division. You just attempted to defraud a federal prosecutor, and we've been recording everything." I could hear him breathing heavily. "We have your location, your real name, and recordings of you threatening an elderly citizen. You're going to want to hang up and call a lawyer." The line went dead, but we weren't done. Our Miami field office raided the scam operation that afternoon. They found a room full of phones with scripts targeting seniors, fake IRS letterhead, and lists of elderly victims. The scammer, whose real name was Marcus Chen, had been running this operation for 8 months, stealing over $400,000 from seniors across the country. He was arrested on federal fraud charges and sentenced to 6 years in prison. But the best part came at his sentencing hearing. Grandpa Joe, in his best suit and carrying his old prosecutor briefcase, stood up to give a victim impact statement. "Your Honor, this defendant made a critical error in judgment. He targeted a retired federal prosecutor whose grandson works for the FBI." The judge actually smiled. "And how did that work out for him?" "He's about to find out, Your Honor." Marcus got the maximum sentence, partly because he'd specifically targeted elderly victims, and partly because he'd unknowingly tried to scam a retired prosecutor. After the trial, Grandpa started volunteering with AARP to educate seniors about phone scams. 40 years putting criminals away, he told his first group of seniors, and I almost fell for the same tricks they use on everyone else. But fortunately, I have a grandson who knows how to fight back. The scam operation Marcus was running collapsed completely. 7 other criminals were arrested, and over $200,000 was recovered for elderly victims. Sometimes the wrong target fights back with the full force of the federal government.